I'm really happy to be here with Bob Wallace, who is the Speedwatch Director here at the Community Policing Station in the Mill Bay Village. And it's amazing, his commitment to Speedwatch and to volunteering. He was recently honored with receiving an award from the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Susan Anton, for outstanding contributions toward crime prevention and community safety in BC. Bob has contributed 2,385 hours to Speedwatch. He started in 1988 and he's trained well over 40 volunteers. So first of all, congratulations, Bob.
Thank you very much.
What was it like
Daphne.
Receiving that award?
Well, to start with, it was quite a surprise. It was in Vancouver, so I took my wife over and
Nice.
we had a nice overnight and then went to the luncheon and the presentation the following day. So it was great, and I actually got to talk to the minister. That was kind of nice. So, yeah, it was very pleasant.
You're the only one that
nice.
you were able to speak to her, I understand.
Yes, it was quite interesting. She told me that she was from the area, and I said, yes, I knew that, Minister. And she went on to say that she had gone to Mill Bay quite often to play tennis, and I told her that she was always welcome to come back.
As long as she does not speed.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's talk about the chronic areas that have been a problem over the years
Okay.
in the Mill Bay, Cowichan, and Shawnigan Lake area.
Right. Kind of interesting, really, because, you know, the most traveled road would be the Shawnigan Mill Bay Road, going from the highway into Shawnigan Lake. It's a 50, 60 zone, and people do not kind of hang on to those speeds. They do speed along that road, but it's a heavy traffic area. And quite often we set up near Carey Park Rec Center, and we'll have 200 vehicles per hour going one way. So if you think of the other traffic, you say 400 vehicles passing a given point in an hour is a lot. On the other hand, Mill Bay Road has a lot of speeders, whether they're heading for the ferry or coming back from the ferry. They don't seem to understand that once you hit the 50 zone, you should slow down to 50.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we've heard about some tragic accidents recently with speeding.
Yes. Well, let me say this. If we clock an excessive speeder, the RCMP send them a letter saying, you, on such and such a date, at such and such a time, in such and such a vehicle, were caught speeding excessively in a given area. That letter goes to them. Now, the number of letters that the RCMP send out is a good indication to us how we're doing. If those letters decrease, we're doing our job right and people are slowing down. For example, over at the Cobble Hill Station, near the coffee shop, which it is, used to be a school, that was a very high traffic and a very speeding zone. Now people go through there at 50. It's almost a waste of our time to go there. See, people seem to be obeying the speed limit in that area. Another indicator that, yeah, it's working.
That's great to
working.
hear. And I know the RCMP report that Speedwatch definitely reduces the number of crashes.
Yes. Yeah.
So you need volunteers. The only way to keep it going is through volunteers, right?
Absolutely.
And I know it's not onerous. It's only requires a few hours, and even the training session is not that lengthy. So just give it to us in a nutshell, if you could.
Okay. The volunteer starts here at the Community Policing Office, and then Allison, the coordinator here, will phone me and give me a name and telephone number. I contact the person. We arrange to meet at a time convenient to them, and 2 hours sitting around talking and deploying the equipment and going through a typical deployment, clocking vehicles, etc., and getting people used to using the reader board and the other equipment.
Right. Is it highly technical?
No, not at all. Not at all. Once you plug the cables in and turn it on, it's all automatic.
Okay.
The only thing is that people have to man the equipment and they have to record the vehicles as they go by,
Right.
whether they're speeding or not. Okay, all the vehicles going past a given point at any time are recorded. That information is given to the RCMP and to ICBC because both of those are supporters and providers of equipment. ICBC provides all the equipment we use. RCMP is very cooperative. We have a liaison officer at the RCMP detachment in Shawnigan Lake. So they take that information and use it. Some time ago, RCBC asked us to do a safety belt watch. That's easy. We could do that, sure. And maybe we couldn't do our speed watch as well as that, but we did the safety. And over a period of a couple of years, we even went over to Salt Spring Island to do it over there.
Well, Speedwatch works. Did the seatbelt exercise work as well?
Well, it was kind of interesting because over a period of 2 years, our seatbelt check statistics proved that 20% of the people in our area did not wear seatbelts.
That's good. So the exercise worked, and certainly I know Speedwatch works because sometimes when you're traveling a long distance, you can forget if you're speeding. Sometimes you forget if you've even dropped below the necessary speed limit. So it's really good to be reminded. Now, how much time do volunteers have to devote then, Bob?
Okay, just your point. It's an awareness program. So we ask the volunteers to take a short course, 2 hours, where we do a little bit of classroom, no exam. And we deploy the equipment, so they're familiar with that. So we do a deployment until they're happy with setting up and taking down the equipment. And then they go out with a qualified or experienced, I should say, speed watcher for their first trip out on the road, making sure that they're happy and that they've done. So basically they require 2 hours for the course, and then we ask that they devote 4 hours a month to Speedwatch.
That's pretty decent. It's not going to take over their life.
Yes. We have a mother-daughter team that's going out this month, and they're going out on 2 different days together.
Good.
So,
Good to know. Well, thank you. And you're obviously a great leader. You're an A1 volunteer. So it's been great meeting you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daphne.
And another thing to know about South Cowichan policing is that there are all kinds of things you can learn about fraud awareness, emergency preparedness, all about the programs we've been discussing so far. And volunteers are required all the time. So just check the website, southcowichancommunitypolicing.ca. To learn more about Block Watch and Speedwatch, or to enroll as a volunteer, call or drop by the South Cowichan Community Policing Office in Mill Bay Centre, 250-929-7222, or go to the website, southcowichancommunitypolicing.ca. We'll be back after a brief break with ways that you can become involved with community policing or positive peers for teens. And we'll take a trip off the highway near Cowichan Bay.